Okay, I'm out on patrol again, but this time I'm actually in the city. I'm behind the old folks thing here, and I startled some people. This little shed here. This is a maintenance shed for this complex, and what's going on is here. Let's see. They are squatting. They're squatting in here. Over here on the back of the table, right up here, they've got a light. They've got all kinds of stuff. They've got stolen property. They've gotten a whole bunch of junk and garbage in there. They are using the other side of this electrical box right here. They're using that as a bathroom. I'm not going to show you that because, nobody wants to see that really. But notified PD because when I came walking up, I startled them out. They took off running over here around the back of this building. And let's see. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. That little opening right there, that's an alleyway that leads north to another roadway, or another alley which leads to a roadway. But I contacted PD. That was, let's see, that was roughly 30 minutes ago, and still waiting on them. But notified them. They're gonna send somebody out. They should have had somebody out here already, but it gets busy this time of night. But they broke into the tool shed. They got rid of all the tools that they didn't need or use or want or whatever, and they turned that into a little tiny house thing. I'm pretty sure there's drugs in there. I'm pretty sure there's paraphernalia in there. Around here, that's how the homeless run. But I'm doing my part. I'm staying here. I'm waiting for police to arrive so I can fill them in, tell them which way they went, what's going on, what I found, something. Usually this is the interesting part. A long time ago, down this side of the building here, there's a little grate system on the ground. And it had a pulley system gate. You pull on it and the weight drops, pulling the gate open the rest of the way. That was broken into, about 200 freaking times. And that grate goes underneath this entire complex, which this complex is like two full blocks long. I mean, it's huge. I mean, there's I want to say like maybe 3 football fields, possibly, maybe. But that system of tunnels, it goes down in the middle, and then it branches off this way and branches off that way. And inside each tunnel is another small tunnel that goes forward and then up into the storefronts. So once you get into the tunnel, you can actually get into a store and pop up through the floorboards. And that's bad. Like, really bad. It goes into like most of their storerooms because that's the electrical panels. But, after quite a while reporting that, the property owner finally listened to me because I told him, lay down a steel bar and then weld it across there. Nobody will ever get it open again. He did, and nobody's ever gotten in there again. But I'm still here waiting for police. I mean, hell, it's been 5 minutes here. But I'm going to continue waiting. I filled you guys in. Now I'm waiting for police so I can fill them in. But so little update. It was hour and 37 minutes before police showed up to take my call about the homeless people. In the time waiting for them to show up, another homeless person came through with a very large torch, like an actual, Minecraft fucking torch, flames and everything, checking the dumpsters, checking the recycling, climbing in the dumpsters. And I had made a call about that, which was an hour after I had already called the police. And both times, dispatch told me to wait. A police officer's on their way. And then got off the phone. A couple minutes later, actually not even a couple minutes later, it was like 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, some lady came through on a bike. She went into one of the dumpsters. She was digging around. She started smashing glass everywhere. And then I had walked over to see what was getting smashed. Came walking back. Officer came up. He instantly had attitude. He was pissed off at me. He was pissed off at the situation. He was giving me all kinds of shit. And he's like, "You don't know what they're doing. You can't accuse them of anything. What if the property owner wanted them here?" It's like, yes, the property owner wants 4 half-naked homeless people living in a fucking shed. But they gave me all kinds of shit. They yelled at me for being out, and they're like, "You can't do this. This is our job." And that what you're doing is not neighborhood watch. Well, their idea of fucking neighborhood watch, is you sit at your house and you watch your neighbor. They're telling me leaving your house, leaving your block is no longer neighborhood watch. It is police patrolling and pretending to be a police officer. ARS 13-3889 grants me the same powers as an actual sworn police officer. And 91 and 92 and 93, it grants me all those powers. I can break into a building if I wanted to. If somebody is committing a crime inside the building, I'm allowed to break into that building and arrest the people. I'm allowed to do that. But really pissed me off that they gave me all this shit, and it's like, dude, I've been doing this longer than you've been, working at this police department. The one guy's like, "Oh, I've been doing this for 17 years. Yeah, sure you have. You don't even know your own fucking codes. You don't even know what neighborhood watch is. Fuck them." But I'm going to go out. I'm going to continue doing my thing because they can't legally stop me. And I've already talked to the sergeant. I've already talked to the chief of police. Chief of police already gave me the okay. He said what I do is commendable. So, fuck those 3 officers. Okay, so I walked to the front up here of the building. I went around the front. I contacted the property owner or the leasing agents or whatever. Walked down to the Steel and Son place to see if they still had that Jeep for sale, and it's gone. But came back and see this. That's the shed I was telling the officers about. The officer said there was probably no power going to it, and there's somebody in there right now. I want to call and let them know that, hey, they're back, but I can't because they told me to leave it be. But you know what? I might actually call and tell the dispatcher, hey, I can't stick around. But hey, they're back in there. I guess they waited for everybody to leave. But that's about it. It is upsetting that I told them, hey, somebody's living in there, and they're like, well, how do you know? Well, saw them going out, saw them run, saw them leave, and now they're in there again. Fucking pisses me off that, you know, the police don't believe me, and yet there's fucking evidence. There's the evidence. There's actually the bed in there and everything. But they're like, how do you know the property owner doesn't let them do this? It's like, why would the property owner let them do that when he wouldn't let them do the living underground right around the corner? That pisses me off. But that's all I can say is, hey, I tried. And I got yelled at for it. I literally got yelled at because all because I wanted police to come out here. And then the one officer's like, well, I got dispatched out here over an hour and a half ago, but I had to go on a different call. And here it sits. You know, the one officer that got the call originally didn't show up until later, and the other two officers were yelling at me for calling the police. And it's like, dude, I don't care that the statute changed and that they can camp in city limits. I don't care that they're camping in city limits. I don't care that they're fucking homeless. What I do care about is breaking and entering, stealing electricity, stealing food. You know, I don't care. You're homeless. You sit and beg at the corner. You walk away with like 60, 70 bucks and you can't fucking make anything work. But seriously, you know, you got all this stuff, but you still steal. You still break and enter. Like, hell, stand at the fucking corner by Walmart, you know, beg for some change, get yourself like 30, 40 bucks, buy a damn fucking tent, and go tent. Go pitch a tent out in the middle of the desert. I mean, shit, that's where all of them are. But I got yelled at for pointing this out to police. But I'm gonna freaking upload all this shit tomorrow because my feet are fucking hurting. Like, seriously, fucking over an hour and a half I sat waiting. And then they show up and yell at me. Fucking dispatcher told me, hey, just wait there, an officer will be right with you. Fucking hour later. Oh yeah, officer will be right there. Half hour later, officer shows up yelling at me. Telling me, you can't do that. Actually, the statute says I can. If they're committing a crime, then I have the legal authority to enter the property. I've got, if somebody was breaking into that smoke shop right there, if they broke in through like the roof or the back door, I can smash my way through that front window to arrest them under citizen's arrest. I have that legal right. They just don't understand it because these cops don't actually look at the other ARSs that have nothing to do with that. But I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna call it a fucking night, and I'm gonna have all this uploaded tomorrow.